There's my mic. Hello. How is everybody? Welcome to Pieces of Pat Paints. It is Monday. For those of you who don't keep track, I'm pretty sure everyone does keep track, but yeah, it's funny. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I had a pretty decent weekend. It was a crazy hailstorm last night. Luckily, all my plants survived, so everything is okay. Around here, you gotta get used to those things in Oklahoma. There's a lot of hailstorms and tornadoes, and that was just wire. It was nothing important. Everything that's important is up here with us. I've been starting to work a little bit on getting some primer on here. Just little bits. This thing is so crazy that it's gonna be a while to get all this done. So anyway, we need to attach this piece, which we made. Where to go? I think it's under here. Yes. So when you attach this piece we made and this piece we made, so two pieces we got to attach this today. I was doing this, and I think we need to address these holes, but I don't think we need to address these holes. So I think we need to do these holes, but not these holes. So we're going to look at that. We're going to see what we got to do there. And then we're getting pretty dang close to being able to start painting this thing. Golly, that's so big. I was considering filling in these holes, but I think that it will, no matter what I do, they're gonna look like holes. Even if because there's so much texture on here, and you're not really gonna see it. But I might do it anyway. I don't know. We're gonna look and see what else we need to do as far as like sealing up some other things. The cloak is one of the last things we were gonna have to look at, and there is a hole right in there that I think we want to address for sure. These holes we're not going to have to stress. So we're probably going to put a little bit of this together. Look at this thing right here and see how that's looking, and then decide, is it really worth our time to come through here and try and plug every single one of these holes, or are we going to be able to get away without it? Because if you really just can't see it at all, it's not going to make any difference. So don't worry about plugging them up. That's going to lose time and resources, for something that you really didn't need to do. Sometimes you need to plug up holes. Sometimes you don't. Like a big giant hole in the bottom of our foot that everyone can see. If you turn the model around, yeah, that's something we want to plug up. But like all these little drain holes that are going to sit on our shoulder that you're never ever going to see them. No matter which model, which way you tilt this model, you will never see those holes. So we don't have to stress that so much. We don't have to worry about these seams either as well. So like these seams are all solid. This one, now that this is hardened, we might come back in here and fix this. There we go. There's a little section here that's separated. So we might put that. And then we did have a few more other pieces. This is going to be our primary focus for today. But we do need to take a look at this foot and see what's up. Oh, let's take a look at this though. We did have some victories. We got this done last week. So, it's not exactly a match, but it's pretty darn close. And, like I said, when you look at this from the shelf that it's going to sit on, it should look fabulous. Should be right on the money, which is what we're looking for. It's great. So that makes me a happy person. All right, so let's see here. All right, before we glue, I really need to put those guys up. We're so far away from being back on Tyranids, it's not even funny. We still have like a bunch of Tyranid stuff to paint too. What was I doing? Oh yeah, we're gonna fix this right here, and then we'll glue this on later. But first things first, I think we need to turn on some music, number one, and then we'll see if we can't remove some of this and then we will, which again, I don't know why I'm worried about that. You're not going to see it. How much of it are you going to see, really? And I want to take care of these hoops because we've got some broken hoops that are right out here that are going to show. So we want to take care of these hoops. That for sure. And then we'll see. Okay. So let me pop on some music. I need to look into like how old music has to be before we can play the rights. Because like, I mean, maybe we can just play some of my really, really old music because maybe it's public domain. I don't know. I don't know if music works the same as like imagery does. I know images work like that, but I don't know if you can play somebody's recording of something for free after a certain time because of the public domain situation. Until the channel making money, I can't spare the expense to buy a program that lets us play music. Maybe I should make my own. I'm not actually bad at music. I understand it very well. I could get like a digitizer thing or something for my computer and make music. I could probably make something like this. Maybe. I don't know. This guy's pretty cool though. Or girl. I don't actually know who it is. Okay. I got our knife. Very carefully carve that out. I mean, super carefully. Like we broke this one over here last time and then it disappeared on us. So you really gotta take your time. This resin is so brittle, especially right after it's cured. It's really better to try and get some of these things out prior to it being cured, but I understand. Sometimes it's better to cure it on the supports as well. So it's like, you know, there may be a situation where this was better because it was going to be smaller amounts of mess up. Printing is a different kind of deal. We should fire up the printer sometime. All right. Okay, so that gotta fix those two. I still don't like this one. Okay. Wonderful. We are going to just take a little bit off of here. Simply because y'all know I get obsessive about stuff. Try not to take off too much of the texture that's underneath where we set that putty in to fill these holes. But I don't want our wash to catch on these little things. I was trying to think about how to say that, what I was trying to say. Sorry about the pause. Sometimes I'm just thinking too hard, I think. About what you should say. You should just let it come out. Although, sometimes, that's a bad idea. And like I said, be careful. You don't want to get rid of any of the detail that was there before. Some of this is from you can see the waves where it was printed in it, but that's all right. A lot of that's gonna kind of tone down as we paint it, but we don't want it to be like a big bump. Like some of these here are like big bumps. These are more the pocks, unless the pock marks, unless or the protrusions, less of a divot. And this is something I definitely want to, you want to use a file for this. Those little sticks, little sanding sticks, they're not strong enough to do this. They'll bend on you too much and you'll get real frustrated because you won't be able to keep them as steady. If you got a big flat surface, it's better. It's, you know, using your sanding sticks will, you know, that works out great. But okay. Uh-oh, we knocked this piece off. We'll have to redo it. That sucks. I think actually, now that we've gone through several of these, I think the way to do this is going to be remove this and just make another one and glue it on there. Now that we've done that a few times. Uh-oh. Where did it go? Oh, that's right. Put them up on there so they wouldn't get lost. Ooh, I scared myself. So, like I said, having done this a few times now, I think our best bet is going to be to just kind of pull this up, take this off, and make a new loop, and then put the loop on. And you can go back and see us trying both styles, and see how much time it took to do both of them. Doing it this way is a lot faster, like much faster. So if you have to do something similar, remember this project. I know I will. Okay, so we need to do this. We're going to have to make another one of these, and then we need to glue on the parts. So I think we can leave those gaps fine. They look fine because it's mechanical. Okay. Everything else looks pretty alright. See if we can't tighten this up just a little bit. Not that you're gonna see, that you're gonna see her belt, but you know, I'll know it's there, and all of you fun folks will know it's there, and Mr. Gold will know it's there. And that's what's important. And I really enjoy, this is one of the reasons I really like Millput versus green stuff. It's easier to get this kind of things accomplished. With green stuff, it's real, I don't know, it's just, it's a different kind of cut. If you're going to be sculpting a whole piece, I think I would prefer the green stuff. But if I'm going to do little fixes like this, I feel like a lot of times this mill put works a whole lot better. I'm sure there's plenty of people that disagree with me, but that's my opinion and I'm sticking to it. Alright. Wonderful. Okay. Yeah, we need a little bit of mill put this time. I mean, might probably as well just plug up both these holes in her feet, call that a day. It isn't going to take much to do it, so might as well just do them all. And then tomorrow we get to start painting. How exciting is that, everybody? This one's prep didn't take near as long as Malekith. Then again, we haven't had this one trying to stand on its own yet, so this elation may pass. Okay. Oh, mixy. So how was your weekend? What did you do? Cook something outside on the grill? Go to an amusement park? Hunt a wild snipe? Hunt a wild snipe. Man, I don't know, but I'm tired of listening to advertisements, I'll tell you that. Maybe I should just pay for YouTube Premium. I don't listen to those advertisements at all. And I don't have to listen to them in my personal life either. Man, I hate ads. So, I think this one needs to come off. We might be able to just make that little piece. That's like just a chip off of it. This one, I really feel like we should go. God, that's just scary. There we go. Yeah. Come on down. Come on down where you can see me. Trusty old bamboo screwer here. See, that one's a whole lot easier because it was just missing a small chip or something out of it. Which those probably came off when they were moving the supports. And they just, honestly, they just probably didn't even notice. Sometimes you just don't notice these things till you're really starting to try and put one together. And then you're like, oh snaps, that got broken, or that didn't print right, or whatever. Hey, hello, Mr. McBeardsley. It was pretty good. All the plants survived the hailstorm last night, so I'm a happy guy. My squash has bloomed real nicely, so, you know, double happy there. Got a few things done around the house. Unfortunately, I did have a flat tire, but I got that fixed. I've got that fixed. That's fine. There we go. Now we're attached. We're on there pretty good now, and looks like we're in business. Alright. I can sit here and obsess with this stuff all day. So, we're going to let that be. We'll go on our other two pieces. And where... We'll move on to our next... Oh, we got to do this. Hold on. Got to do this part first, and then we'll move on. So, McBeardsley says, glad you didn't get too much of that nasty weather. It narrowly missed us. We went to DC Comics, DZ Comics, that's not DC, that's DZ. It's a great little store here in the city. If you are here in Oklahoma City, DZ Comics on the south side, more like almost all the way down to more. Really good. There's also a really amazing Indian, well, it's Himalayan actually. It's a Himalayan restaurant that's down there, and it's really good. And so if you dig that, go take that, check that out. There's some subtle differences between like Indian food and Nepalese food, but it's not something that would, if you didn't really know the cuisine, that you would notice the differences. It almost tastes the same, but not exactly. The Nepalese seem to like things more yak milks and things like that. I noticed the place is really nice. It's got some Pokemon miniatures and Legos. Yeah, they've got a bunch of cool stuff. They've got a little arcade over there, and DZ Comics is really cool. They do a lot of nice things. You can have your kids have their birthday there. So they're pretty cool. They seem like really nice folks. I've been down there a few times, but the restaurant is good. Like I said, if you like food from that area of the world, it's definitely a good one for Oklahoma, and especially in Moore, you know, because you're in Moore. where like you go eat some barbecue or some Mexican food, and you'll probably be all right. And they've got a couple like corporate joints and things like that if you want like corporate Chinese or whatever. But like for Indian food and Nepalese food, that's pretty good. I mean, it's legit. Their naan's pretty good. I love their naan. And they carry beer from India, Taj Mahal, pretty good beer. If you're into that, if you're not, don't worry about it. I definitely don't judge anybody who decides that is not something that they want to mess with. There's lots of bad parts to alcohol, and definitely not everybody. Everybody should be drinking it. Not everybody. Be super careful. I'm gonna smack stuff off here if I'm not careful. Yep, I did. I smacked another one off. Where'd it go? I thought I heard something hit. It hit something. I was like, man. If we can find the piece, we can just glue it back on. Flying off into the sunset. There's nothing we can do about it. We'll just have to make another one. By the time we get this thing attached to her, or all this thing set up to start painting, we're gonna have to redone on the whole dang sleeve. Dagnabbit. Oh well. That one's my fault. That's part of what happens, y'all. You just... Sometimes you do that. Shoot. Oh. Already got the mold put out. We're already halfway there, so I'll be fine. Big old dang cloak. I don't even know why I was pulling it up to look at it. Being silly. This whole thing can go all the way over here. I don't even need it over here. Oh, that's frustrating. It says, a friend of my girlfriend's made the comment that you save the build plans for the miniature Pokemon Legos, and you can go to the store and build a huge version. Yeah, you could build. I mean, once you kind of have the idea, you can just start multiplying everything. Pokemon's a little bit out of my wheelhouse. I was a little too old by the time Pokemon came out. It was definitely one of those where it's like, oh, it's kids' night at the game store. We're gonna go find something else to do so that we're not bothering these kids. Wanted to let them have fun and not have to deal with us, 20-somethings being angsty about work and stuff. Let them have fun. Don't make them think about that stuff yet. It's not fair. They're gonna have plenty of time to think about that later. Okay, so now how many we got to place now? So we got one that's gonna go here. We got one that's gonna go here. We need to probably make 2 more. Dang old cat hair in it. one. There's the other one. If I can get it to come off with a dang knife without cutting it to ribbons. Ah. Thinking that one might need to close down just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. There we go. Fine, I won't cheat. A little bit of water. I figured this trick out by accident the other day. Well, I shouldn't say by accident, and I shouldn't say figured out. I remembered this trick by accident. I did it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's how you do that. And then I keep forgetting. I'm so used to just rolling things up on stuff. Because in food, you know, you're not really want to touch it with water typically. You don't really know, and especially if you don't know where the water came from. See. Mr. Beardsley says, I was playing it before and I could read because my dad had a Game Boy with red version. Yeah, Game Boy and Nintendo 26 taught me how to read. That's one of the things what's so cool about video games, man, is like it does teach people things. We may not want to always admit that, but it will teach you things. And anything that's going to get kids wanting to read, man, there's nothing wrong with that. That's why I said, man, we didn't want to participate in Pokemon. It wasn't our thing. It was y'all's thing. You know, it was definitely y'all's thing. And, you know, I knew some guys my age that were into it. You know, just because there's always some guys that have got a little bit of kid in their heart all the time, and they're always into a new game or whatever. But you know, but I didn't even like Magic. Like I wasn't a big card guy. I played a little bit of Magic because my friends played it. It was fun, but we were always doing role playing games. You know, and we were playing Dungeons and Dragons or Earth Dawn or Palladium or something. It was always something else. By the time Pokemon was coming out, we were playing Vampire. Vampire and Dungeons and Dragons. I don't think any of us ever actually stopped playing Dungeons and Dragons. Sometime, well, maybe 4th edition. I don't know if I played a game of 4th. I enjoyed the card games a lot, but I never invested into it. Yeah, it was definitely a price point at the front of that. A lot of these games are like that. Unfortunately, it's just the nature of the business. I mean, one of the things that I talk about with some of my friends that they thinking about getting into Warhammer, or they're thinking about getting into Dungeons and Dragons or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, it costs so much," and I'm like, "Well, yes and no. If you think about it, like, how much do you spend on video games and cable a year? Like, how much do you think you spend on that? And then take a look at, like, how much you spending on Dungeons and Dragons. Hey, there's Crypto McKill. How are you, sir? But yeah, that's one of the. I mean, like in Dungeons and Dragons, especially if you can just find a local group that's probably playing it, and they'll let you in, and all it's going to cost you is the price of some dice and maybe a miniature for your character, because your dungeon master will have all the other stuff, So, you can. It's just different. You have to look at the real costs, like how much in video games these days. You're talking real expensive. Doing good. Get inside, getting some water. Hey, there you go. Got to stay hydrated, my friend. Got to stay hydrated. Oh yeah, there's another place that's doing paint. Critter McHale says they're doing D&D at 405 Brewing. And there's also a paint intake at Angry Scotsman, I think, like every month now, which is so cool. Sir Beardley says, I'm very fortunate that my girlfriend was already into D&D previously, and so it's super easy to convince her to participate. Yeah, that makes it super easy. If they haven't ever played before, sometimes it can be a little bit of a stretch. Okay, so those are sealed. That's done. Man, okay, I think we just gotta glue our little parts together. And our business, that's gonna be hidden. You're not gonna see it. Okay. Maybe work a little bit more on this hair. There's a couple places where it definitely got messed up in shipping or whatever it is. It may not even be shipping. It may be the print. But I always like to blame shipping. It's so much easier. It's like a nameless thing. Because you get to like just blame the conveyor belt, and you can like, I wasn't even the guy that delivered it. It was probably just the belt, As humans, we always seek understanding, I think, as to like what happens to things and what has happened to us, and it's a very interesting quality, I think. And sometimes it's just bad luck. Sometimes it is just the machine. Get up there where you can see. There we go. I gotta be more mindful again when I pull it back down here. I got so used to having it high up, I forgot what it's like when it comes down. But I like kind of being able to move it. I'm getting less afraid of doing that. I'm getting more into the idea of just moving the camera up and down to get it to look the way we want when we want it. Especially since I don't have like a producer or anything. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Yeah, just tucking that little bit in there makes such a big difference. See, there's a couple of these little tips that looks like they got shattered or something. Like I said, is on the description. This stuff is super tedious, but it makes all the difference later on down the line when you're going to paint it. If it's already done, and you're not like, oh man, look at that, it's messed up, or whatever. And some of it's always a bridge too far. Some of it you can't you get in there and you start messing with it, and if it's taking too long, just move on with your life. Don't stress out and continue to slam your head against something. And maybe you'll actually be better at it the next time you mess with it, like you do another model. So like don't feel like you've got to spend forever messing with something. Yeah, but that little bit right there, that's going to make a huge difference. There's a whole bunch of these little things all over the place. I don't know that I'm going to do every single one of them. That's a lot of work. And there's some of them I don't know that we can do. I don't know that it will set properly to let us do it. Like this one here was going to be interesting. Put a little water down to hopefully we can convince it to stick. And stick where we want it, not stick in the wrong place, of course. So much delicate and intense work. We may actually I'm thinking this may be easier if we just trim it down this way. No, I definitely wouldn't always recommend doing this. And I definitely wouldn't recommend doing this if you haven't done it before. If you haven't like experimented with how this material kind of carves away, you probably want to just let it be. So what I'm trying to do is shorten it up in a certain way. Where's that flat one at? I'm going to tuck it back in there by changing its angle just slightly and changing how it's coming into a tip. And you're kind of trying to snap off parts of it as you do this, and it's a little nerve-wracking, but it can be done right, and it'll take away that where it doesn't look like it's coming to the tip it's supposed to come to. I don't really like doing it. It makes me a little crazy. hate blind filing. Sometimes that's all you got. Blind filing. Okay. Alright, that looks a lot better than it just being straight off. Broke off straight like that. She's missing a little bit of hair back here too. This one we might actually be able to get this to stick and do something with it. There we go. That's a little better. So the idea is just to kind of finish that little tip out that got broken. And it is a little tedious. It's going to take a second to get it right, but it'll look better than where it just came flat, you know. And this is a step, like I said, not everybody has to do this. It's okay if you don't do so, if you don't go this crazy on stuff, guys. You know, not everybody's going to be painting something like this either. This is a pretty big project, so. But I like being able to show these harder things as I'm trying to relearn them and get better at them myself. Because kit bashing and conversions is a bit of a task. Repairs, modifications, all that kind of stuff. It takes a little bit of trying, a little bit of doing. Just a little bit of water on there to help smooth out what we're doing. And see, now I'm starting to kind of separate a tip out here. And I'm not like the best sculptor in the world, you know, and you don't really have to be. You just kind of have to think about, well, how does hair go and what does it do? And then just be very patient. It does take a lot of patience. That's a thing. But everything in this particular art form takes a lot of patience. So if you came to do these sort of things and you don't have a lot of patience, you know, watch people do it. It's okay. Because you're going to frustrate yourself. It is a very, very time-consuming thing. And it takes a very large degree of patience for it. Kind of just gently pinching to bring them out a little bit more. And then I'm going to go back to kind of trying to sculpt them. They're going to eventually want to come together, and it will make sense for them to come together. But we want to keep them separate as we get them drawn out, so that when they do come together, they look like the individual strands. And this can take a little while, and sometimes it gets a little too dry and it starts to become crumbly, and you start panicking. Like I just did for just a few seconds there. And a little bit of this is going to get locked down with our primer. We put our primer on. That's going to help a little bit. But if you saw how flat that was when we started, and you see how much more shape we've got on it now, you can definitely see what we're trying to accomplish here. I got a camera giving me fits again. Huh. Its autofocus is looking good. I don't know why it's not. There we go. That's a little better. Yeah, that's a lot better. Oh, darn. Don't fold that in. Don't fold that in. There we go. Come on. Get with the program, Pat. Alright, that's about as much as I feel like we should mess with it. I want them to come together. It'll give it more stability. For those of you wondering why I keep pushing them back together like that. It's going to give them an overall stability that'll help. There we go. Alright. And then I went and messed this one up that we worked so hard to get done. Luckily that one's an easy one. Woo! Well, that was a really fast hour. Holy moly. Okay, but that's done. This is done. Well, we gotta let glue on the parts to it. But the stuff is made for it. Feet have the things in it. Okay, we're gonna be able to prime this and get going on it, which is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and glue on these ones we have done. One cool feature to add to YouTube Premium that Twitch has is a free sub membership a month that you can use to support a creator of choice. Twitch does that if you have Amazon Prime. That would be cool. I've been thinking about cross streaming, although I don't necessarily know a whole lot about it. I just now figured out how to do one. So, like, tech sometimes is not my friend. God, get off there before you break. Get on there. It's your home. Don't you want to go to your home? I know I broke it. God bless it. Looks like we're making another one tomorrow. Or we're here in just a second. Okay. I knew I was going to bust that one. It was already kind of weak anyway. And I just had this feeling it was going to break on me. Never hurts to know the stream, but it's hard to keep up with separate chats. Yeah. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, man, that's a lot. Get too many people talking at once and get really irritating. Come on, sit in that crack like I want you to. so hard to get these things to sit in there just right. There we go. Come on, baby. I made that loop a little big, but it's alright. While it's on there, I'm just going to add just a touch more glue to that spot right there and kind of push him over there. Should be good. Luckily, it's kind of in the back. I'll throw those other ones on tomorrow, and I guess I'll make this another one real quick, and then with it, now we'll hey, it's Dave. Nice to see you, sir. So yeah, looks like we're gonna have to make one more to replace this little one I shattered down on her dress. And it needs to be like much smaller than that. Come on, open back up. Okay. Whew, okay. These little loops have been the death of me right here, man. Okay, so we'll put that on tomorrow. We'll put the other two on tomorrow. We're going to let that weird one dry. Like I said, luckily it's in the back. You're not really notice. So they're going to be okay. But she is coming along rather nicely. Her legs are all pretty much all done up. Going to finish that prime there. Oh yeah. Get in here. That looks great. Looking great. Alrighty. Alright, kiddos. Well, I'm going to talk to you tomorrow. I'll be back. Same bat time, same bat channel. Or maybe same pat time, same pat channel. That's funnier. Appreciate everybody coming by, saying hello, and giving little chats and all that sort of stuff. And we're gonna get go picking up kids. It's the last week of summer, so before summer, so I won't have to be doing all that running right out of here stuff for a while, which is great. But you know, it's also gonna be frustrating because they won't be in school, and you know, kids like to stay busy. So we're gonna figure that out. Anyway, thanks a lot for coming by, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.